Monday, June the 1st. Today calls for an emergency debate. The opposition looking for accountability on the economy. The open letter from Pierre Poilievre to the Prime Minister over the country's technical recession. How the Liberals and some economists are responding. Also from Winnipeg to nationwide, how the city is recognizing a Winnipeg company's contribution to the community and beyond. Plus, guarding historic figures, an Anglican cathedral opened its doors over the weekend as part of Doors Open Winnipeg. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is Monday. It is the 1st of June.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. The last month for kids to be in school. My kids are so pumped for this month to be over already. But in fact, it's a great time to think about doing activities outside because it's been really nice. It's been warm. The summer is slowly getting here. And so we have Ainsley live throughout the morning with CPAWS telling us about some of the outdoor activities you can enjoy in our parks and our trails around the city as well as around the province. But you'll want to get outside because it's been so gorgeous.
It has been gorgeous. It's been hot.
Yes.
And for those of you that have been finding it too hot, I think you'll like what's coming our way this week. A little bit of relief, both with the temperatures, but also with some much needed precipitation that we could be seeing off and on throughout this week. You can see we're waking up to a few extra clouds now. 15 degrees is where we begin. A little bit of a breeze out of the south-southeast, just 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 83%. The satellite image, look at this. This is, I feel like, good news for everybody. The chance of getting some precipitation. Showers. There could be thunderstorms tucked in there as well, and obviously lightning strikes not ideal with how dry it's been, but because it's been so incredibly dry, we've been needing this. So it looks like southwestern Manitoba will be the first to see it. Might take a little more time, but the Futurecast shows that it could eventually roll over us. There you can see the possibility of those showers a little bit later on into the afternoon. Very scattered precipitation, nowhere near as organized, moving through parts of northern Manitoba, the northwest at least, northeastern Manitoba, looking very clear, sunny, dry, and then into that far northwest, you might see a little bit of that activity. Now, it's not just for today. We could do this all over again tomorrow. Another round. Tomorrow's could be a little more intense. You can see them showing up with all of their colors of red in there as well. So some storms to be passing through at times throughout this week, pardon me, and then slightly cooler temperatures to follow those systems. So you'll see some low 20s, even some high teens. 23 degrees or 22 degrees is normal. It does look like it's going to get hot again. Perfectly timed for the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. The economy is top of mind for so many Canadians these days, facing a mix of affordability challenges. The opposition leader calls for an emergency debate on the matter, as some experts now say the country is in a technical recession. CTV's Jeremy Sharon starts us off.
In a Sunday morning letter to the Prime Minister, a push from Pierre Poilievre for Mark Carney to answer for the state of Canada's economy. Calling for an emergency debate in Parliament over the issue, you promised you would deliver the fastest growing economy in the G7. You delivered the only recession in the G7, wrote Poilievre.
This is a full-blown Liberal recession.
A Friday report from Statistics Canada showed the country's economy contracted slightly for a second straight quarter, meeting the technical definition of a recession. Poilievre lays the blame on the government.
This is people's lives. Behind these statistics are empty stomachs, empty fridges, and empty bank accounts.
We asked people in Ottawa what they think and what or who they blamed for it.
I do feel like times are tough.
Feels like a standstill, and a lot of people that you talk to, they feel like they're never getting ahead.
Are we really in this session as a result of factors that were the last 2-3 years, or is this a reflection of the current government?
Some economists poured cold water on the recession talk, arguing the declines are marginal and don't indicate a widespread downturn.
Economists tend to be very careful around using the word recession. The truth is that the economy is not in good shape. Through most of 2025, we struggled up and down.
But most are clear the country's economy is struggling to gain traction, and that can't be ignored.
We need to deal with this The difficulty is that certain parts of the country are struggling, while other parts of the country really are faring quite well.
In a statement to CTV News, the finance minister's office called Poilievre's letter political theater, chalking up the downturn to external factors like the U.S. trade war and pointing to efforts to build new global relationships and attract major investment here at home.
Winnipeg's mayor and the fire paramedic service say more ambulances are needed stat. They say paramedics can't keep up with the number of people overdosing on Winnipeg streets. CTV's Jeff Keel now on how many new ambulances are being called for.
Andrea Dinostransky carries around a naloxone kit. When used, it reverses an overdose. She comes across people in need of it at least once a day.
You see them KO'd, passed on the ground, like they're just not moving and they're like in the middle of you gotta go stab them.
She's not the only one. CTV News spoke with another man on North Main who did not want to go on camera. He has 3 or 4 kits in his backpack. Dinostransky believes the city could use more ambulances on the street.
Because, I mean, the fact that we have to go and do this all the time.
Mayor Scott Gillingham agrees.
We need more ambulances and we need more paramedics.
The province pays the city to provide ambulance services. The mayor is lobbying the province for more as the drug crisis pushes emergency staff to their limits.
And until the addiction crisis and drug crisis is dealt with head on, those calls for service are going to continue. Our paramedics are exhausted. Our firefighters are exhausted.
The WPS says the chief is asking for 8 more ambulances and 88 more paramedics. In 2025, 90% of Priority 1 ambulance calls were responded to within 19 minutes. This also bogs down firefighters. Often, they have to wait with patients until an ambulance arrives.
We've had some responders report that they responded up to 6 times for the same individual in one day.
The service says a growing, aging population has also increased call volumes. In a statement, Manitoba's health minister says there is more work to do. We continue to work closely with Shared Health, the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service, and other partners to assess systems needs and ensure Manitobans can access ambulance services when and where they need them. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The mayor supported the province's move to detain people high on drugs like meth for 3 days, up from 1. And he says more long-term measures are needed, like more detox beds, RAM clinics, and mental health supports. A vacant house near Winnipeg's Spence neighborhood was caught on fire. Fire crews were sent to the house in the 500 block of Sherbrooke Street at 6:30 a.m. on Sunday. Flames were coming from the home, and this is the aftermath. A side of the house almost entirely charred. Crews had to switch between offensive and defensive strategies to fight the fire, even using an aerial ladder to spray water from the top. Firefighters brought it under control around 9 a.m. No injuries were reported, and the fire is under investigation. The ongoing trade war with the U.S. has pushed Canada into a closer relationship with its European allies. In an appearance on CTV's Question Period, the Prime Minister of Sweden was asked about Canada joining the EU.
It's not for me to say, but the European Union is a very welcoming club for like-minded.
Ottawa is about to enter negotiations to purchase an aerial surveillance system developed in Sweden. Canada is also considering the purchase of new fighter jets from the Swedish manufacturer Saab. From Winnipeg to nationwide, the city added a sign on a stretch of Panet Road to honor Princess Otto's contribution to Winnipeg. Mayor Scott Gillingham announced an honorary street name of Princess Otto Way on Saturday for Panet Road between Nairn Avenue and Mission Street. This comes ahead of the company's new flagship store opening tomorrow. Gillingham said the Tallman family, operators of the company, have been contributing to the city by creating jobs, establishing scholarships, and sponsoring major events.
And so the impact of the Tallman family it goes deep and is long-lasting in our community. And by naming this street Princess Otto Way, it's just a small way to acknowledge their great contribution.
CEO of Princess Otto, Ken Larson, said it is an honor and a truly humbling moment in a media release. The city's honorary street name doesn't replace the official street name, but is an addition. Gillingham says this was his idea. It's not often that students get a chance to do this. Rise to to the face, photo booths, games. They were part of St. Mary's High School's Relay for Life festivities. The Kitchener School was one of hundreds that take part every year. Relay for Life has raised more than $10 million for cancer research. St. Mary's High School by itself has raised $400,000 and counting since 2018. Here's a look now at what's going on the Norwood Bridge. Yeah, it's a good start to the day so far. Barely anyone out in this part of the city at this point. If you see any issues out there, please send us a text to let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live this morning on Churchill Drive in a kayak. Good morning. You're enjoying the outdoors this morning.
Oh, I know I'm smiling, but this is a bigger core exercise than it actually looks like. We were blessed with such beautiful weather this morning. Water is great. Not that I want to end up in it. Safety as per usual. But there's paddle nights coming up with Canadian Parks and Wilderness Society. I want to tell you all about it. Kicking off on June 17th. And it is concurrent every Wednesday after that. They also have various hikes, including at Bois d'Esprit, Broken Head, the first of the month, the first Saturday of every month as well. I'm getting a cue. I shouldn't be telling you that I'm getting a cue to go, but I've never been subtle about anything in my life. Oh, and now I'm all wet. It's my own fault. I can't even blame the rest of the dragon boating team for this one.
Oh my goodness. What a beautiful morning to do that. Have fun. Look at how perfect that river is right now for any activity.
Beautiful. Yeah, if I were her, I'd just keep rowing. So long. See you another time. What a beautiful start to the morning. She's right about that. The winds are light. The sun is shining. It's not scorching out here. Well, it typically wouldn't be this time of morning, but also likely won't be later on today, even though we are still in for above seasonal temperatures. Not the extreme heat that we dealt with last week. And there are going to be a few extra clouds and maybe even a few scattered showers, which we will welcome to see a little bit of that precipitation. It has been so incredibly dry. 15 degrees is where we begin with an east-southeast wind, 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 85%. And yeah, beautiful start to the morning. The sun shining down on us. And like I said, there's a few clouds out here, but also still some beautiful blue sky to enjoy. Through southwestern Manitoba is where things are more active this morning as far as the precipitation goes. And later on this afternoon is when we could be seeing those showers passing through parts of the southeast. For northern Manitoba, a little bit of activity perhaps in the northwest, otherwise northeastern Manitoba. It's going to be a beautiful sunny one for you. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. A quiet St. James neighborhood was shaken as gunshots rang out Friday. Winnipeg police say it was a dynamic situation and officers were able to rescue the innocent people being held hostage. CTV's Harrison Shin reports from the scene.
It only took a moment for a quiet neighborhood to turn into a scene of chaos.
It was about just after noon. I heard 2 bursts of gunfire, probably about a dozen shots altogether.
Winnipeg police say it all started when officers were tipped off that a man with a warrant was in the neighborhood. As police tried to take him into custody, they say the suspect ran, then he broke into a home in the 400 block of King Edward Street.
Shots were exchanged at this point. 3 residents were determined to be inside the residence, all unrelated, and at this point police believed them to be hostages.
Seirak says the tactical team was able to rescue 2 of the hostages, and while rescuing the 3rd, they realized the house was on fire. The suspect then left the residence through the back door. Officers confronted him, and there was another exchange of bullets.
The suspect was taken into custody. He was provided with emergency first aid, and he was taken to hospital.
The fire was quickly extinguished, Seirak adds, and says no hostages or police officers were injured. No additional questions about the suspect and hostages were answered.
Normally, this is a pretty quiet neighborhood, but there's, like I said, a lot of things going on everywhere, so it concerns me and my family.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
On Saturday, police said the suspect, 37-year-old male, died from his injuries. Out of those 3 residents, 1 was a man and 2 were teenage girls. As this is an officer-related shooting, the Independent Investigation Unit took over the investigation. A new class of Winnipeg police recruits are ready to hit the streets. The pipe band accompanied recruit class number 173 as they marched into the RBC Convention Centre Friday afternoon. The valedictorian notes that the 47 new officers won't just be stepping into a career, but also into a position of public trust.
Our true test won't be just how fast we can run or how perfectly we know case law. It'll be how we treat people. It'll be the empathy we show, the fairness we practice, and the calm we bring to chaos.
The graduation ceremony marks the culmination of 36 weeks of training, including 16 weeks in the field. With the CUSMA review deadline now just a month away, Canada's former ambassador to the U.S. says she doesn't think the trade deal will be scrapped.
I hope I'm not wrong. You can never say anything for certain in this particular context, but my money's on that agreement staying, maybe being modified, but staying in place.
Kirsten Hillman also served as Canada's lead negotiator in trade talks with the U.S. She told CTV's Question Period the July 1st deadline is not a make or break date, and U.S. officials have made it clear they want to change certain parts of the deal. Hillman adds Canada may learn more details about what changes the U.S. wants over the next month. The deadline to renew or review CUSMA is on July the 1st. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will head to Washington for talks this week. The family of NHL legend Claude Lemieux says his brain will be donated to help research into traumatic injuries. Lemieux, who played on several teams, including the Montreal Canadiens, died earlier this week of suicide. He was 60 years old. His family released a statement saying Lemieux's brain will be donated to Boston University's CTV Center to study the effects of repetitive brain injuries. An Anglican cathedral opened its doors over the weekend as part of Doors Open Winnipeg. The St. John's Anglican Cathedral and Cemetery is just a few minutes away from Main Street, hosting more than 9,000 Manitoban spirits. Established in 1812, several historic figures are resting at the cemetery, notably 2 former premiers of Manitoba, 9 Winnipeg mayors, several business leaders, and more. The cathedral's council member and tour guide says nearly every single name on the headstones can be found as a street name in Winnipeg. That being said, if you ever wondered why we have mountain as a street name at a prairie city, here's her insight.
Not that we have any mountains, you understand. Flattest piece of land, I think north of the American border. But it was a bishop named Mountain who came from Montreal in 1846, I think, to see if we were ready to have a bishop. And in 1849, our first bishop came from England.
The current cathedral building is marking its 100th anniversary this year. Jameson says while the grounds are open to the public once a year during Doors Open Winnipeg, a tour is available if arranged in advance. We have an article up on our website. Just head to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca for more. So this is something that goes way beyond the rare book section at your local bookstore. A King Arthur manuscript, which has been in private hands for more than 700 years, is up for sale. It's expected to go for a hefty price tag of nearly $3.8 million. It was written sometime between 1290 and 1310 and is part of a larger valuable books and manuscripts auction at Christie's in July. That is so very cool. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The westbound curb lane on Ellis Avenue will be closed between Downing and Minto Street. On Sargent Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will also be closed between Downing and Minto Street. And following the rush, the north and southbound curb lanes on Simcoe Street will be closed from Wellington to Notre Dame Avenue. If you see any issues out there, please let us know.
Looking through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. We are seeing a few extra clouds in the sky this morning, clouds that might bring a little bit of much needed precipitation. As far as temperatures go, we're all well above seasonal to kick things off, but quite a pleasant mid-teen range is what we're seeing all across southern Manitoba. 15 degrees here in Winnipeg, 16 in Portage. In the Morton, Winkler and Brandon areas, you're coming in at 17, and then there's the Pas, 19 degrees right up into northern Manitoba, and these mid-teens are being felt right up to that north border around the Lynn Lake area. Churchill a little bit cooler, yet also a little bit clearer, fewer clouds in the Churchill area. You're likely to see the most sunshine today. 8 degrees is where you begin, which is already well above seasonal daytime highs, never mind overnight lows. So Yes, it's another warm start to the day, but not so intense that we're still under those extreme heat warnings. So those have all been lifted, and now some much needed relief coming with some precipitation that we're seeing showing up in the satellite image here throughout southwestern Manitoba. And perhaps later on today, we'll see a little bit of that activity rolling through the southeastern part of the province as well. 20 degrees. It will be a warm one today, just not intense. I mean, we talked about the mid-30s where we were last week, so nothing looks like that. 24 through the lunch hour, 26 by the time kids are coming home from school, with that possibility of a shower later on into the afternoon. 28 for tomorrow. There's a chance of showers both days, maybe even some thunderstorms, certainly overnight and into Wednesday too. Following that, a little bit of a cool down, but we heat right back up again for the weekend. And this, look at this. So there's the adult owl in the tree, but that's what the little babies look like with those big wide eyes. Thank you to Katie for sharing these photos. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca, and we'll see you right after this.
Good morning. If you're trying to plan out your Folk Fest weekend, check out this Your Morning Winnipeg contest. The 51st edition of Folk Festival runs July 9th to the 12th out at Birds Hill Park. Father John Misty, Lucy Dacus, Sylvan Esso, and Monsters and Men are taking the main stage, and this is your chance to win 4 tickets to for you and your family and friends to all 4 days of the Winnipeg Folk Festival. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword HAPPY. Good luck. There's a serious word of caution for plant lovers. Illegal trading is taking root in Quebec, according to a Montreal university. As CTV's Denise Roberts explains, buyers looking for deals online are often violating Canadian law and putting the environment at risk.
At Serre-Lavoie in Laval, succulents and cacti are big sellers. Beautiful and diverse, they're also the ultimate low-maintenance plant, according to Jérémy Bélanger.
They're pretty trendy right now, so people want a small plant that is easy to take care of.
Importing these plants is labor intensive. Bélanger's job is to get the permits required.
It requires 2 to 3 permits to bring these plants into Canada.
It's not only to protect Canada's biodiversity from foreign pests, but to ensure plants aren't being taken from the wild by poachers.
So all of these plants come from mostly South America, Central America, and South Africa.
It can take decades for some of these plants to fully mature, and it's one of the reasons why the black market is growing. Bélanger says if you see a large plant for a low price, it's likely been poached.
Some plants can take up to 100 years old to be just my size.
Price and variety are what's driving buyers online, according to a new study from the Université de Montréal.
Plants are really available on common platforms such as eBay or Etsy, so it's really easy to access.
Léanne Vincendon, a plant lover herself, interviewed buyers of illegal succulents and found most knowingly flouted the law. She says there's no real deterrent against buying illegal plants. Online platforms don't require sellers to have permits, and buyers are willing to take a chance that their package will make it through customs. Data from Interpol show worldwide illegal trade in plants has skyrocketed. And Environment and Climate Change Canada confirms in the last 5 years, 655 protected plant species were seized, most of which were cacti or succulents. While it may seem like an innocent crime, ultimately, Vincendon says it causes environmental harm.
The demand for certain species can, at the other hand of the supply chain, stimulate poaching and illegal harvesting.
Knowing where your plants have come from and how they've been harvested is a good way to keep these species flourishing, even if it takes more time and money. Denise Roberts, CTV News.
Summer, well, here's a look at what it looks like on Portage Avenue at Pullo Park right now. It's gorgeous outside. If you see any issues on the street, please send us a text to let us know. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. A
few extra clouds kicking off your morning, but still these well above seasonal temperatures. We're beginning our Monday morning at 15 degrees with just a light breeze out of the east-southeast. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 85%. Yeah, it is still well above seasonal, but we are not under heat warnings any longer. It settled somewhat over the weekend from the mid-30s that we experienced last week just into those low 30s, high 20s, and now into the mid-20s is what we can expect out of today. So everything is starting to feel a little more bearable for those of you that found the heat to be way too much. And I think that was a lot of us, especially last week. Well, now we're getting the precipitation that we're needing because after all of those hot, dry days, we really haven't seen much in the way of rain. And it looks like now we're finally beginning to see at least a bit of it. Through the southwest is where it begins. We might see that move into the southeast later today. Not necessarily expected, though, throughout parts of northern Manitoba. So this really is more of a southern Manitoba event that we'll see with the chance of showers. And again, it is just a chance here in the southeast, a better chance off to the west of us. 26 degrees, that's where we're headed today. So still above seasonal. 22 would be a normal daytime high. But like I said, it's not the extremes. All of those warnings have lifted. A normal low would have us around 9 degrees. So we are still likely to be above that. 16 through the overnight hours. Still that chance of showers and again another chance of precipitation tomorrow. Maybe even a better chance and slightly warmer temperatures. 28 degrees expected. Now Wednesday is also looking to be a little bit soggy as far as storms go, and following that slightly cooler, more seasonal temperatures, or at least closer to it. Remember that 22 is now normal for this time of year, but we're soaring well beyond it with that heat coming back and the sunshine coming back for the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Canada has been given a near failing grade on an annual report on poverty. Food Banks Canada gave Canada an overall D+ for managing poverty. It says the situation is urgent, with incomes not meeting the cost of living in this country. Bottom line, the cost of rent, food and gas are all up and incomes are not. The report found people who have jobs now make up 1 in every 5 food bank clients across the country. There are also fewer jobs to go around, with nearly 3 unemployed Canadians for every position available. Canada was given an F in poverty measures, with the national poverty rate now sitting at 11.1%. Quebec received the highest provincial grade with a C. The call now is for more affordable housing, improved social assistance, and increased wages. Supporters of a black bear rescue are selling shirts to raise money for the organization's legal fund.
It's kind of feeling like Team Bear, and people really want to be involved. The other thing is I'm getting requests for shirts from all over the world.
Manitoba Bear Rehabilitation Centre is concerned about the RM of Rockwood's decision to approve a quarry to be developed near their facility. They say the quarry's operations threaten their ability to function, citing blasting, vibration, noise, dust, and other factors. They further allege the municipality of Rockwood approved extraction applications without fully disclosing what drove the decision, which it says denied the rescue a fair chance to respond. Now they've launched a lawsuit, and supporter Janice Grant decided to take action. She's designed and produced these shirts, which feature a picture of one of their bears and the words, "Support Manitoba's Black Bear Rescue."
Well, the first order was 150, and those are gone. And I placed a second order, and I've actually placed a third order of certain sizes. So basically, as long as people keep buying them, I'll keep ordering them.
None of the claims has been tested in court, and none of the respondents has filed a statement of defense. You can learn more by heading to the rescue's website. Kildonan Park was the point of empowerment for Manitobans with multiple sclerosis on Sunday. It was one of 50 locations across the country to host the annual event, raising awareness and funds for patients and research. More than 800 people gathered at the park. This year, the event was aiming to raise more than $210,000 for Winnipeg. One volunteer with MS says the event isn't just about fundraising and awareness, but also to find a community.
Incredibly meaningful for people to be able to be open, to feel they can share their disease with their friends and family and have that support, and also for the friends and family to come and do something positive. And we have our research team here, we have MS Canada team here, so it's a really wonderful, empowering way.
MS is a disease of the central nervous system impacting brain, spinal cord, and optic nerve. Right now, there is no cure for it, but treatments are available to limit the relapses and impact of the disease. Economic uncertainty has many companies holding off on hiring summer staff, leaving teenagers and young adults frustrated in their job search. CTV's Kamil Karamali has more on Canada's growing youth unemployment rate and when it may come back down.
I was just wondering if you guys are hiring.
This has been Tyrese Phillips' reality for the past 3 years.
KJ, I'm Ty. Nice to meet you.
On the job hunt, store after store, handing him rejection after rejection.
In store, you don't hear nothing. Nobody gives you a call. Nobody gives you an email. It is a battle. It's a battle to even want to continue trying.
Now, new data shows the number of youth between the ages of 15 and 24 without a job has been on the rise in Canada. 3 years ago, the youth unemployment rate was just over 9%. Now, in April of this year, it's over 14%.
They're struggling to get that first job, that first foot in the door of the work market.
High interest rates and economic uncertainty related to the trade war with the U.S. has meant companies are taking fewer risks. Long-term business investments in Canada has dropped for a 5th straight quarter, says Canada's data agency. Companies instead going with hiring freezes or looking for more experienced workers, or even worse.
Right now, our members are looking to lay off more staff than they are looking to hire.
Rapid population growth over the past few years has increased competition for entry-level jobs, but that is likely to change.
We are going to see some progress for Canadian youth over the coming year as the temporary foreign worker program rolls back. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen instantly. It is going to take many more months.
So experts instead with this advice.
Work your networks. See who you know and see who might be hiring.
I was just wondering if you...
For Tyrese Phillips, he certainly plans to.
Keep your head high. You just have to look into the future and just imagine something for yourself.
Hoping this summer is the one where he can finally bring home
have a good day.
A paycheck. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Here's a look outside now at Confusion Corner. Things are moving quite well starting off this Monday morning. If you encounter any problems out there, please let us know. We do have a traffic alert to tell you about. There's a working fire in the 199 block of Argyle Street. The northbound Disraeli Freeway is currently closed, so commuters are asked to find other routes around the area. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text. Here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.61. The lowest price in the city is $1.49. The same found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, Ainsley is live with CPAWS. She's having some fun outside, in this case on the river. We're going to tell you more about some of the other activities coming up.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
A beautiful start to your morning, and my flowers survived the heat wave. I did give them a good drink before the weekend started, and then they had to get through on their own. They're doing okay. I'll give them another drink today, even though there is the possibility of showers later on this afternoon. I don't want to 100% leave it up to Mother Nature, because that is just a slim chance of showers. So I'll make sure that they are well taken care of, and you might want to do the same. Southwestern Manitoba is where you're lucking in with the actual precipitation right now. As far as temperatures go, though, we're all lucking in. A pleasant start to the day. 15 degrees at the moment with just a light breeze out of the east-southeast. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 85%. So yes, southwestern Manitoba getting some much needed precipitation, and we're desperately needing it as well. But as I said, it is just a chance of showers to pass through later on this afternoon. For northern Manitoba, that chance is almost nil, so you're in for a beautiful, bright and sunny day. The heat warnings have been lifted around the province. Today's temperatures will still be above seasonal, but a little more pleasant or a little more bearable for those of you who didn't like the extremes. Heading on over to Ainsley McPhail now, who's enjoying a lovely morning outside. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. Terry, people often wonder, how do you guys hear the show on TV? How is that possible? Well, we do it with cell phones, and this is my own personal phone because my CTV phone went in the water, but I have learned that I am not the only, let's keep going, sorry Chelsea. I have learned that 3 people this weekend happened to, and 15 a record last year. So I feel less alone, but a little bit quieter. Chelsea Thompson from CPAWS is joining us once again. You guys are doing paddle nights, kicking it off again this June. Tell us all about it, Chelsea.
Yeah, we do paddle nights all summer long. Starts June 17th, Wednesday evenings. And it's great for people that want to check out the water, learn basic skills. You can go out in a kayak or a canoe like we are, single, doubles, with a family. It's a great way to experience the Winnipeg river system and get out and explore on your own.
And no kidding, what a beautiful day we've been blessed with today. I think I am taking us into the dirt right now. I am so sorry. Speaking of dirt, people who don't like the water, they can find land. You've got some activities for that.
Yes, we find all ways for people to get outside all summer long. We do hikes every Saturday, the first Saturday of the month, year-round. We are going to Bois de Esprit this Saturday, Broken Head in July. So yeah, we have hikes all throughout the city and just outside city limits year-round.
And other activities too. The whole idea is to get people involved in nature, whether it be journaling or getting the kids involved as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We do workshops in the summer as well. We'll be talking about that later with some of my colleagues. Everything from tree identification, mushroom identification, nature photography, which is a really great way to just learn how to get better pictures of your activities outside.
Okay, I'm almost running into the boat. I'm sorry, Kenny. We'll see you after the break. We're somewhere along the red.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones climbed 233 points. The Nasdaq added 88. The S&P index bumped 20 points. The Canadian dollar decreased to 72.37 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is 15 points up, and the Nikkei gained 604 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. A wildfire in northern Saskatchewan is still raging, but a shift in the weather is helping fire crews.
Everybody is calm and staying cool and collected and just taking problems as they come and taking one step at a time.
It's burning across roughly 19,000 hectares of forest in the RM of Shellbrook. Smoke had been making it difficult for crews to operate water bombers, but humid weather over the weekend has reduced the billowing smoke. 70 homes in the southern part of Shellbrook were ordered out on Friday night. It's unclear when they'll be able to return. Town officials say they were working on fixing 20 roads in the community that had been washed by flooding just before the fire started. Trains are still running, even though Canadian Pacific Kansas City signal workers are on strike. Job action started after the Sunday morning deadline passed without a deal. CPKC says backup plans are now in effect to keep trains running safely across the country. The 300 workers install, maintain, and test rail signals across the network. The union says after months of bargaining, there isn't enough progress on issues like pay and work-life balance. Changes to how Aeroplan points are redeemed come into effect today. The airline says this change is a combination of increases and decreases. It now costs fewer points to redeem some short-haul flights on economy. On the other hand, it now costs a lot more points to redeem long-haul flights for business and first class. For some routes, the hike can be as high as 67%. Air Canada says the change is in line with redemption costs on some partner airlines. Doctors in the UK are praising the trial results of a cancer treatment that's managed to eliminate entire tumors in some patients. Researchers at London's Institute of Cancer say the amivantamab injection was offered to patients whose cancer had spread, come back, or failed to respond to standard treatments. The drug targets cancer cells and blocks multiple signals that helps those cells grow and spread. Results from the clinical trial showed the injection reduced tumor sizes in 43 of the 102 patients treated. In 15 of those cases, the tumors disappeared completely. Experts say the findings are highly encouraging.
New EGFR drugs like amivantamab are showing strong promise in HPV-negative head and neck cancers, and this will hopefully improve response and durability and hopefully improve survival and outcomes so that, many years are possible even when recurrent metastatic disease occurs.
Head and neck cancer is the 6th most common cancer worldwide and affects thousands of Canadians each year. Memorial Park was the spot to see everything Asian. The Taste of Asia took over Memorial Park over the weekend, bringing a finale for Asian Heritage Month. About 70 food vendors, 50 artisans, and some ethnic community booths were there. This year marks the 4th year since the festival started, and event organizers say it keeps getting bigger, showing the public's interest in various aspects of Asian heritage.
For me, it is the food, because the food that make us really miss back home, the specialty, and also some of the dances and the entertainment, some cultural dances that we can watch for the 2 days of the event.
Meg Boo says if the festival outgrows Memorial Park's capacity, they'll find a new location to continue the festival. Manitoba isn't hosting any FIFA World Cup matches, but the biggest stars in the world will be running on their grass.
We're watching this tournament at home. We can sit there and go, hey, that's a piece of something local, I guess. So yeah, it's a neat feeling.
Manitoba farmers have produced 2 types of ryegrass seed that are being used to overseed and fill in the turf used in some World Cup stadiums, specifically in Vancouver and Mexico City. The company selling it, DLF, are well experienced. They've sent seed out for previous World Cups, and they've also sold to the PGA Tour. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The westbound curb lane on Ellis Avenue will be closed between Downing and Minto Street. On Sargent Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will also be closed between Downing and Minto Street. And following the rush, the north and southbound curb lanes on Simcoe Street will be closed from Wellington to Notre Dame Avenue. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text.
All right, 15 degrees with a bit of sunshine out there, but you can also see there's a few extra clouds hanging around this morning. Just a light breeze. It's out of the east-southeast, only 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 85%. Now, you can see where there is some precipitation this morning through the southwestern part of the province. We're not seeing anything like that just yet, but the possibility is there. I've been saying, though, that the heat warnings have been lifted and we're in for a far more pleasant day. But there are some parts of the province where that heat warning remains in place, and it's mostly through west central and up into northwestern Manitoba. That's where things will still be feeling pretty darn hot today. And even Thompson, you could get up to 31 degrees versus the high teens or mid to high 20s through the rest of the northeast. Very clear conditions, lots of sunshine, but yes, some places will still most definitely be feeling that heat with these well above normal temperatures. So low 30s all throughout the northwestern part of the province. Mainly sunny conditions are expected, so you do still need to take all those necessary precautions that we talked about last week when it comes to the extreme heat. Nothing extreme about what we're going to experience, though, throughout southern Manitoba, and instead that precipitation, which we've been desperately needing, some showers, maybe some thunderstorms, some low to mid 20 temperatures expected then throughout southern Manitoba. And we too will see not just a few extra clouds today, but the possibility of some showers passing through. Other places have a bit better of a chance of getting that precipitation. We need it, but I was saying I'm going to water my flowers on my own anyway, just in case Mother Nature doesn't come through for us. Further to the east, bright and sunny, and those high 20s expected throughout much of northwestern Ontario. So still mid to high 20s for the next couple of days, but better chances of precipitation could cause those temperatures to drop through the middle to the latter part of the week before they're on the rise again this weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, you two. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Rochelle. Hopefully you had a great weekend. The weather certainly was fantastic. We are talking about that time someone dared you to do something and you got out of your comfort zone. It could be something as simple as getting up to do karaoke, maybe, you know, walking across the dance floor to ask someone to dance.
Ooh, spicy.
Or, yeah, it could be a little more exciting. What about you? Let's start with you, Rochelle.
Well, years ago, I was doing a documentary for Manitoba Moments. It was a half-an-hour documentary, and I decided that jumping out of a plane would be a good idea. And so I took a 6-hour class in Steinbach, and then got into that plane. You're supposed to climb out onto the wing of the plane, so you're hanging by your 2 hands, holding the wing of the plane, and I literally forgot everything that I learned in those 6 hours. I had no idea what I was doing. I was absolutely terrified, beyond my comfort zone in every way. But as you're floating to the ground quickly, because you forgot to open your chute properly, you're like trying to figure it out as you're flying. It was great. I did land a little harder than I should have because I forgot what I was supposed to do, but I got it. That's why they make you do this 6-hour course, so that you have it in kind of your muscle memory on how to land properly so you don't die. and I managed it.
Oh my God. 6-hour course does not sound enough for that kind of adventure. My goodness. I cannot breathe hearing that story, Bo.
I had no lessons at all in Mexico back in the late 90s with the family. All week I was watching parasailing, and I kept saying, I'm going to go, I'm going to go, I'm going to go. The last day, my family said, you got to go. Yeah. And I did. No instructions. I don't know. It was thrilling, but oh my God, after I thought, what the heck was I doing up there, right? What about you, Gabby?
Well, my story was about licking a fuzzy peach off the gym floor in grade 8. Like, there's people who do great things and people who lick food off the floor.
Oh my God.
Well, they're fun stories anyway. We did it. Thank you, you guys. A man who turns junk into art found out how his talent inspired him to see life more positively. CTV's Adam Sawatsky reports.
Well, he regularly rummages round the back of thrift stores looking for random things.
The worse condition, almost the better.
What Ian Baker is specifically searching for is inspiration.
It's almost a little bit exciting because I know that there's potential for this item.
Although this basement is full of his finds, Ian never has a plan for the pieces.
And you just start grabbing some parts and see what fits together.
And even though none of them were designed to align, Ian can always find a creative way to connect them.
It's just like playing, basically.
And once Ian adds the eyes,
a lot of them have little souls.
They seem to come to life.
It's a joy. You just feel like you've almost birthed something.
And like the pride parents feel for their children, Ian can boast that his creations have grown up to become airplane pilots, race car drivers, musicians, and baseball players.
It's always cool to bring them together, you know, it's almost like a family.
And like a family, when one member's life takes an unexpected turn.
It's funny that I have all these eyeballs around me.
Like when Ian suddenly started losing his vision.
It's scary, you know, it's like having the rug pulled out from underneath you.
These unexpected family members seem to rally to support him.
I'd force myself to get down into the shop and see what happens. And just about every time it would pull me out of that sort of dark state and get you in a place where things become purposeful again, you know?
And like Ian showed the discarded a dynamic new way to be, they've shown him that despite deteriorating sight, there's still so much positivity to see.
It forces you to sort of look at what you have as opposed to what you don't have.
And one of the things Ian has is the ability to turn junk destined for the landfill into characters who remind us just how whimsical our world can be.
I guess it's just a deeper appreciation for what we have. We're so fortunate.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
So neat. Well, here's a look at McPhillips Street right now. Things appear to be moving quite well starting off this Monday morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. It's Monday, June 1st. Today, a push from Poilievre why the opposition leader is calling for an emergency debate. Plus, graduation day, how many new officers are ready to hit the Winnipeg streets? And a sign of respect. Which company was recognized with an honorary street naming? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning at 7 o'clock on your Monday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now at 7:52, we're going to hear about World No Tobacco Day, which was yesterday. But the Canadian Cancer Society has a lot of programs out there trying to get people to quit smoking because it is still a major problem. And of course, we know 1 in 5 Canadians will get lung cancer if they are smokers. So we're going to find out more about some of those programs. And if you are thinking about quitting, some of the resources out there as well that could help you. So that's important to know. But let's talk about this weather. What a glorious weekend it was. It was so nice and hot.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too hot for some people, but
last week most definitely.
Yes.
I think things kind of started to settle down a little bit through the weekend, and you're going to notice more of that somewhat settling throughout this week, even though we are still likely to be at least above seasonal for a couple more days before those temperatures drop back to what is normal for this time of year. And even then, that'll only be brief. 15 degrees is where we begin, which is an above seasonal start to the day. 9 degrees would be a normal low, so we're well above that. And there's just a light breeze out of the east-southeast, 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 85%. Now, there's a few extra clouds out there this morning and even a little bit of precipitation. Parts of southwestern Manitoba seeing some of that activity right now. We can hope. I mean, we need it. We all need it. I mean, it's been so hot, so dry. Still feeling the heat, though, is kind of west central and up into northwestern Manitoba. Heat warnings do still remain in place through that part of the province. Here in the south, all of those heat warnings have lifted. And yes, we will start to see things kind of settling down somewhat throughout this week, but still up in those low 30s throughout much of northern Manitoba, and very clear conditions, especially on the eastern side of the province. Here in the south, that precipitation through the southwest could push into the southeastern part for later on this morning. So we do have a chance of showers, but you can see it's just kind of a little lingering activity. So not a great chance of precipitation today, but our chances improve over the next couple of days. So here's first thing tomorrow morning, southwestern Manitoba again, kind of woken up by some of that activity. It'll continue to track further to the east. So we do have the chance of seeing a little more activity rolling over us for later on into the afternoon. Tomorrow, that'll take us into Wednesday as well, with a slight bit of a cool down to come along with that passing precipitation. Not for long though. The weekend, sunshine is back and the heat is coming back too. And our art today is, I don't know if it's a rock, I don't know if it's a potato, I don't know what it was that Cadence used to make this cute little cactus, but I loved it and it made me smile, so I hope it does the same for you. Send your art to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca, and when you do enter online, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
The economy is top of mind for so many Canadians these days, facing a mix of affordability challenges. The opposition leader calls for an emergency debate on the matter, as some experts now say the country is in a technical recession. CTV's Jeremy Sharon reports.
In a Sunday morning letter to the Prime Minister, a push from Pierre Poilievre for Mark Carney to answer for the state of Canada's economy. Calling for an emergency debate in Parliament over the issue, you promised you would deliver the fastest growing economy in the G7. You delivered the only recession in the G7, wrote Poilievre.
This is a full-blown liberal recession.
A Friday report from Statistics Canada showed the country's economy contracted slightly for a second straight quarter, meeting the technical definition of a recession. Poilievre lays the blame on the government.
This is people's lives. Behind these statistics are empty stomachs, empty fridges, and empty bank accounts.
We asked people in Ottawa what they think and what or who they blamed for it.
I do feel like times are tough.
It feels like a standstill, and a lot of people that you talk to, they feel like they're never getting ahead.
Are we really in this session as a result of factors that were the last 2-3 years, or is this a reflection of the current government?
Some economists poured cold water on the recession talk, arguing the declines are marginal and don't indicate a widespread downturn.
Economists tend to be very careful around using the word recession. The truth is that the economy is not in good shape. Through most of 2025, we struggled up and down.
But most are clear the country's economy is struggling to gain traction, and that can't be ignored.
We need to deal with this. The difficulty is that certain parts of the country are struggling while other parts of the country really are faring quite well.
In a statement to CTV News, the finance minister's office called Poilievre's letter political theater, chalking up the downturn to external factors like the U.S. trade war and pointing to efforts to build new global relationships and attract major investment here at home.
With the CUSMA review deadline now just a month away, Canada's former ambassador to the U.S. says she doesn't think the trade deal will be scrapped.
Hope I'm not wrong. You can never say anything for certain in this particular context, but my money's on that agreement staying, maybe being modified, but staying in place.
Kirsten Hillman also served as Canada's lead negotiator in trade talks with the U.S. She told CTV's Question Period the July 1st deadline is not a make or break date, and U.S. officials have made it clear they want to change certain parts of the deal. Hillman adds Canada may learn more details about what changes the U.S. wants over the next month. The deadline to renew or review CUSMA is on July the 1st. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will head to Washington for talks this week. There's been another exchange of strikes between the U.S. and Iran. U.S. Central Command says it hit Iranian radar and drone sites over the weekend. The U.S. is calling the action self-defense. Iran's Revolutionary Guard released footage this morning of what they say was a missile launch targeting a base used by the U.S., which is believed to be located in Kuwait. This morning, Kuwait condemned Iran's attack, saying it's taking all necessary measures to defend its territory. Despite the flare-up, U.S. President Donald Trump posted on social media saying Iran really wants to make a deal, and it will be a good one for the USA and those that are with us. It continued, just sit back and relax. It will all work out well in the end. It always does. A new class of Winnipeg police recruits are ready to hit the streets. The pipe band accompanied recruit class number 173 as they marched into the RBC Convention Centre Friday afternoon. The valedictorian notes that the 47 new officers won't just be stepping into a career, but also into a position of public trust.
Our true test won't be just how fast we can run or how perfectly we know case law. It'll be how we treat people. It'll be the empathy we show, the fairness we practice, and the calm we bring to chaos.
The graduation ceremony marks the culmination of 36 weeks of training, including 16 weeks in the field. From Winnipeg to nationwide, the city added a sign on a stretch of Pennant Road to honor Princess Auto's contribution to Winnipeg. Mayor Scott Gillingham announced an honorary street name of Princess Auto Way on Saturday for Pennant Road between Nairn Avenue and Mission Street. This comes ahead of the company's new flagship store opening tomorrow. Gillingham said the Tallman family, operators of the company, have been contributing to the city by creating jobs, establishing scholarships, and sponsoring major events.
And so the impact of the Tallman family it goes deep and is long-lasting in our community. And by naming this street Princess Auto Way, it's just a small way to acknowledge their great contribution.
CEO of Princess Auto, Ken Larson, says it is an honor and a truly humbling moment in a media release. The city's honorary street name doesn't replace the official street name, but it is an addition. Gillingham said this was his idea. Here's a look at what's going on now at Kenniston and Sterling Lion Way. Looks like things are moving really well to start off this Monday morning. If you have any traffic tips to share with us, please text them to us at 10400.
Tesla could be reaping the benefits of the China-Canada EV agreement that will allow 49,000 Chinese-made EVs a year into the country. In the first month of the deal, 10% of the nearly 3,000 imported vehicles were Chinese-made Teslas. The EV giant's sales recently recorded an uptick, with investor Ross Gerber of Gerber Kawasaki saying that the Iran war could have prompted customers to shift to EVs amid soaring gas prices. NVIDIA is entering the PC market with a new chip aimed at loosening the stranglehold of Intel in that arena and modernizing the machines for the AI era. Starting this fall, NVIDIA's new RTX Spark Superchip, a combination of microprocessor and graphics chip, will debut in laptop and desktop computers from leading PC brands, including Dell and Lenovo. Meanwhile, The Big Short's Michael Burry says NVIDIA's AI spending is fugazi, slang for messed up. Burry's criticism centers on the idea that AI infrastructure growth may rely more heavily on structured finance, leverage, and off-balance sheet arrangements than investors realize. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's been hanging out outside to talk about CPAWS and the many different things happening this summer. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. I've had a little bit too much fun on the water. Yeah. I've taken it to land now, and they've got some hiking days coming up, including one this Saturday at Bois d'Esprit. 117 acres of gorgeous land right here in the city. They're also going to be at Broken Head as well. Paddle nights, if you're interested, kick off on the 17th of June and will exist in concurrent Wednesdays. Back to land. We're kind of hopscotching here. If you want to know, what type of tree you're looking at, or if this is the type of mushroom that you can eat, you don't necessarily need an app for that. CPAWS is going to help you discover it. They want to get people closer to nature. They also want to protect the nature. So we'll tell you all about that, including what they're doing for the oceans coming up as well.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Going out to the rooftop now. Terry, my mom was saying where she's at, where her camper is. In Portage, the mosquitoes are really bad already. And when it gets this hot, that's what happens.
I know, right? You get the heat, you get the rain. I mean, we haven't had enough rain, so maybe I shouldn't be wishing for what I've been wishing for. The thing is, we need the precipitation. The lawns need it, the flowers need it, but yes, it will lead to an onset of mosquitoes, even though I haven't really noticed much of them over the last few days. We've had the heat, and that heat will still be above seasonal, but it's going to settle a little bit throughout this week now, 17 degrees. So speaking of above seasonal, 9 would be a normal low temperature, and as cool as we ever got was 15 degrees this morning. The breeze is light, it's 10 clicks, it's out of the east-southeast. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 78%. The sun is up, it's looking good. There's a few extra clouds this morning, so it's not a scorching bright sun, and we might see more of those clouds building up over the course of the morning. There's already been some precipitation through southwestern Manitoba, and we might have a chance of seeing some of that later today here in the southeastern part of the province. Now, in central and northern Manitoba, where things are clear and hot, with heat warnings still in place through west central and up into northwestern Manitoba, and even places like Thompson could hit 30 degrees today. High 20s through the northeast, abundant sunshine there. So still plenty of heat, plenty of sun across the north, and a chance of those showers here in the south.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
It's time now for a question of the day. We want to know, have you ever been dared to do something outside of your comfort zone? And did you do it? And if so, how did it go? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name. And if you have a photo, do that too, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Here's a look outside now at Notre Dame Avenue. Things appear to be moving well here to start off. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. Good morning. A vacant house near Winnipeg's Spence neighborhood was caught on fire. Fire crews were sent to the house in the 500 block of Sherbrooke Street at 6:30 a.m. Sunday. Flames were coming from the house, and this is the aftermath. A side of the home almost entirely charred. Crews had to switch between offensive and defensive strategies to fight the fire, even using an aerial ladder to spray water from the top. Firefighters brought it under control around 9 a.m. No injuries were reported, and the fire is under investigation. Iran's top negotiator this morning accused the U.S. and Lebanon of not following the ceasefire. Smoke can be seen rising in southern Lebanon. In the latest escalation, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has given the order to attack targets in Beirut's southern suburbs. Also this morning, the Israeli flag can be seen flying above Beaufort Castle in southern Lebanon. Israel seized the 900-year-old castle over the weekend. This marks Israel's deepest incursion into Lebanon in 25 years. An Anglican cathedral opened its doors over the weekend as part of Doors Open Winnipeg. The St. John's Anglican Cathedral and Cemetery is just a few minutes away from Main Street, hosting more than 9,000 Manitoban spirits. Established in 1812, several historic figures are resting at the cemetery, notably 2 former premiers of Manitoba, 9 Winnipeg mayors, several business leaders, and more. The cathedral's council member and tour guide says nearly every single name on the headstones can be found as a street name in Winnipeg. That being said, if you ever wondered why we have Mountain as a street name in a prairie city, here's her insight.
Not that we have any mountains, you understand. The flattest piece of land, you know, I think north of the American border. But it was a bishop named Mountain who came from Montreal in 1846, I think, to see if we were ready to have a bishop. And in 1849, our first bishop came from England.
The current cathedral building is marking its 100th anniversary this year. Jameson says while the grounds are open to the public once a year during Doors Open Winnipeg, a tour is available if arranged in advance. We have an article up on our website. Just head to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca for more. Here's a look at traffic now along Osborne Street. Things are moving quite well here. If you see any issues out there, please send us a text and let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A surprise hit at the box office that not even the studio which produced it had predicted. Backrooms, based on an online urban legend, claimed top spot.
It's like a maze. It just goes on and on. Sometimes I'm scared I'll get lost.
It's been a few years since an internet forum spawned the idea of the Backrooms, imagining an alternative dimension of empty rooms where something spooky is afoot. A 24's take on the psychological thriller scared up more than $81 million US on its debut versus its predicted $55 million. Meanwhile, Obsession kept its grip on second place with another $26.4 million in ticket sales across North America. Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu plummeted an historic 69%, earning just $25 million. The legend of NHL legend Claude Lemieux says his brain will be donated to help research into traumatic injuries. Lemieux, who played on several teams, including the Montreal Canadiens, died earlier this week of suicide. He was 60 years old. His family released a statement saying Lemieux's brain will be donated to Boston University's CTV Center to study the effects of repetitive brain injuries. She's an iconic singer, but who was she before her name was in the lights?
Couldn't get much higher. My spirit takes flight. 'Cause I am alive.
There's a new show about Céline Dion's childhood in the works. It's expected to focus on Dion's life growing up in Quebec in a music-filled household with 13 siblings. Deadline is reporting the show will be produced by Céline's brother and based on her nephew Jimmy's book called Dion, A Family Saga. Your primetime lineup this Monday starts with The Big Bang Theory and Hockey Fanatics at 7. Following at 8 is The Quiz with Balls, and The Rookie wraps things up at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV. All right, going outside is really nice because my flowers are very happy with all the sunshine and a little bit of rain sometimes overnight over the weekend as well.
Ooh, lucky you. I didn't notice much of that in my neighborhood, but yes, my flowers on the rooftop too are looking good, mostly because I watered them myself, because I don't think we got a lot here in Winnipeg. So those of you that did see some of that precipitation, consider yourself on the luckier side. We're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. We might see some of those showers today. Some places through the southwest are already seeing a bit of that activity. I'll show you the satellite image in just a second, but first let's talk numbers, because even with that precipitation or the possibility of it, our temperatures are still well above seasonal. 9 degrees, a normal low temperature. We were as cool as 15. We're up a couple now to 17. That's where Brandon, Morton Winkler, Dauphin are all sitting as well. And then there's 18 for Portage, Gimli, Fisher Branch, the Pas coming in at 21 degrees. Now, we do still have those heat warnings through parts of west central Manitoba and up into the northwest. Thompson, 18 degrees for you, headed to a hot high of 30. In fact, low 30s are expected all throughout central and northern Manitoba, which is why those heat warnings remain in place. Things will be a little bit cooler and perhaps a little bit soggier here through the southwestern part of the province. You can see that shower activity for now. We might see some of that later on this afternoon, but a dry start to the day with increasing clouds and then that possibility of showers through the afternoon. 26 degrees are expected high for today, which is still above seasonal, 22 normal. It's not the extreme heat of the last week or weekend, but we're going to get back to those numbers for this coming weekend. First, though, throughout this week with some off and on precipitation, we'll notice those temperatures cooling slightly. So on the right-hand side of your screen, that's the mama owl and the little baby on the left-hand side. Look at those big eyes. Thanks to Katie for sharing this photo with us, and keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
June 1st, 1882, Gas Street Landing came to Winnipeg. The system was the first of its kind in Manitoba. It allowed for the extension of commercial activity after dark and made many downtown areas feel safer and more modern. The gaslight era was short-lived as electric arc lamps soon replaced them. June 1st, 1968. Helen Keller, who overcame blindness and deafness to become a symbol of courage, died at age 87 in Westport, Connecticut. Among her numerous world-renowned accomplishments, in 1904, she became the first deaf and blind person to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree. June 1st, 2008. A large fire at Universal Studios near Los Angeles destroyed several movie sets and damaged 40,000 to 50,000 videos and film reels. The blaze also ravaged more than 500,000 songs, as large portions of Universal Music Group's master recordings collection were lost to fire and water damage. Heated rivalry scored big at the Canadian Screen Awards.
I'm honored to be Canadian, and this is fantastic. The cast and crew of Heated Rivalry, thank you for being such a warm space. Crave, thank you for putting money into our beautiful, straightforward hockey show. To the honorary Canadian Connor Story, I share this award with you. Thank you.
We cannot believe the way that audiences have reacted to this show. We're so grateful.
The show, which took 200 people to make, was nominated for 18 awards and won almost all of them, including Best Drama Series and Best Lead Performer for Hudson Williams. Other highlights, the Nunavut Shot series, North of North, won Best Comedy Series and Best Lead Performer for Anna Lamb. And Best Motion Picture went to Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. And Eugene Levy gave a tribute to his friend, Catherine O'Hara.
It was who she was as a person that endeared her to millions. For me, she was the one person I spent the most time working with over our 50-year careers, and that is something I take great pride in being able to say.
Catherine O'Hara died on January 30th.
I want to thank my mom and dad for moving to Canada. And for stressing the importance of being silly. I want to thank the Canadian taxpayer, 40 million people behind me. I want to thank the Toronto Transit Commission. I want to thank, it's a better way. I want to thank Scarborough for teaching me the 3 F's. When to fight, when to be funny, and when to flee. And I just want to say, Canada, I don't know what to say, dude. I'd literally be nothing without you.
Oh, Mike Myers was honored with the Icon Award, thanking Canada in an emotional speech. Coming up, we're learning how to play outside with CPAW. Stay with us. We're talking about CPAWs with our Ainsley McPhail, and it's all about getting outside and being with nature and having fun. Good morning, Ainsley.
Rochelle, I must have said it about 15 times already today. Oh, we're so lucky. We're so lucky. We're blessed. We're along Churchill right now, just looking at the river. We got on the water earlier. It's been great. And CPAWs, that really is their mandate. And I'm joined by Deborah Gay-DeVries, who's joining me to talk all about how you at home can help. So this is a really busy season for volunteers, isn't it?
Absolutely, Ainsley. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Yeah, this is the time of year when we take on most of our volunteers. People are excited to get out, like here on the water. Probably not surprised to know this is one of the very favorite spots. People like to come and volunteer.
And what can they do? Per se. I know that people are literally on the water, but what are the volunteers doing?
Yeah, so we have 3 sort of major areas that people can come and volunteer at. One is in the office. If like data entry is really your thing, we get about 24,000 postcards that we get signed every year. And every one of those has to be data entered into our system. There are a lot of people who really do enjoy that. The second one is you'd be sitting at a table just like this out at our outreach events. We go to places like the X, the Fringe Festival, any farmer's market I could pretty much get us into. I know you saw us at A Taste of Asia this weekend. So you sit and man the table with a staff member, and you help get these lovely postcards signed. These postcards are our conservation initiatives that we are pushing to get done with the government, and people help with that. And people like that one. It's a lot of fun if you're outgoing and you like talking to people. And the third big one, of course, is our Nature Club. Nature Club involves coming here for paddle nights, as they talked about, each Wednesday night, and we do need volunteers for that. Another huge one, which you also mentioned, are the hikes. So Bois d'Esprit's coming up this Saturday already is our June hike. We're super excited about July, of course, because July is out at the Broken Head Wetland Trail. And this September, just because we're doing a new one, we're going to the Goose Sanctuary for the very first time, which is super cool. So you get to see all the geese, right, before they migrate. There's a cute little center that you get to come into as well. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for this chat. I'm just going to sit and enjoy nature. See you guys at 7:42.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. And let's talk about the weather when you go out to enjoy nature today. It's going to be another beautiful day.
It really is. Yes, of course, I'll always say if you're going out for long periods of time, slather up with the sunscreen, take some water with you, maybe wear a hat depending how long you're going to be out. And depending where you're at, just know that there are some places that are still very much going to be feeling the extreme heat. That's not us here in southern Manitoba. Things have moderated somewhat. 17 degrees right now with an east-southeast wind, 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 78%. So we do have a few extra clouds hanging around. There's a little bit of precipitation showing up just to the west of us. Southwestern Manitoba, you can see what I'm talking about here, and the possibility that we could, slim chance, but a chance, get some of those showers passing through the southeastern part of the province as well. Many places throughout northern Manitoba, abundant sunshine and a whole lot of heat too, headed up into those low 30s across the north. We're going to top out at about 26 degrees, so still above seasonal. 22 is normal, but a very pleasant day for those of you who've been finding the heat to be a little bit much. Now, there is the possibility of some scattered showers later today, but it is just a slim chance. We're also likely to notice that wind increasing, though. It's very light this morning. However, later today, up to 50k wind gusts, and then dropping off overnight as far as the wind speeds go, and the temperature falling to 16 degrees, but that still keeps us above seasonal. That chance of showers still passes or continues to be a chance overnight and throughout tomorrow, an even better chance of seeing them pass through. 28 degrees, a little bit warmer, scattered precipitation still possible for the next few days, and the temperatures settling down after those storms pass through midweek, but the weekend, things are heating up all over again.
Thank you, Terry. Canada has been given a near-failing grade on an annual report on poverty. Food Banks Canada gave Canada an overall D+ for managing poverty. It says the situation is urgent, with incomes not meeting the cost of living in this country. Bottom line, the cost of rent, food, and gas are all up, and incomes are not. The report found people who have jobs now make up 1 in every 5 food bank clients across the country. There are also fewer jobs to go around, with nearly 3 unemployed Canadians for every position available. Canada was given an F in poverty measures, with the national poverty rate now sitting at 11.1%. Quebec received the highest provincial grade with a C. The call now is for more affordable housing, improved social assistance, and increased wages. In St. Boniface, a proposed residential complex is raising the eyebrows of some nearby residents. They say the plan pushes the neighborhood to its literal limit.
Basically encompasses the entire site. This is a 41,000 square foot area, and his building is a big T-shaped building going all the way back with just enough setback to get cars to drive around it. It's 6 stories high. It doesn't fit in the neighborhood. 470 Des Marins is set to become a 120-unit rental complex. Residents against the plan tell CTV News they welcome the lot becoming housing. However, they want the plan to be scaled down and an acknowledgement of the site's dark history.
I see that development is a good thing here, but it needs to be respectful of what happened and the history of this land.
The St. Boniface Development Company behind the project, Freed Home Developments, is aware of the site's history and residents' concerns. In a statement to CTV News, the company's president says, quote, "This includes public consultation with neighboring residents and outreach to Indigenous groups and relevant government stakeholders, supported by technical assessments such as ground-penetrating radar and review of historical records and information." A statement from St. Boniface City Councillor Matt Allard says he will not comment on the project until the public hearing on Tuesday. Kildonan Park was the point of empowerment for Manitobans with multiple sclerosis on Sunday. It was one of 50 locations across the country to host the annual event, raising awareness and funds for patients and research. More than 800 people gathered at the park. This year, the event was aiming to raise more than $210,000 for Winnipeg. One volunteer with MS says the event isn't just about fundraising and awareness, but also to find a community.
Incredibly meaningful for people to be able to be open, to feel they can share their disease with their friends and family and have that support, and also for the friends and family to come and do something positive. And we have our research team here, we have MS Canada team here, so it's a really wonderful, empowering way.
MS is a disease of the central nervous system impacting brain, spinal cord, and optic nerve. Right now, there is no cure for it, but treatments are available to limit the relapses and impacts of the disease. Hefty ticket prices are keeping many soccer fans at home.
I feel like it really pushes the game out of reach for a lot of people who want to be there and want to show up, and it's really disheartening.
Plenty of tickets are still available for FIFA World Cup matches in Toronto and Vancouver, and the games are now less than 2 weeks away. In New York, affordable tickets for hometown fans were being offered for just $50. But here in Canada, that's not the case. In fact, Canada's first match in Toronto is not going for anything cheaper than $3,000. Other games range from $600 to more than $1,000. Vancouver's official viewing party is also still showing large clusters of seats still available to its fan festival. We had not one, but 2 full moons in May. This was the view of the second full moon above the Poseidon Temple in Athens. The second full moon in a month is called a blue moon, even though the moon doesn't look blue. A blue moon happens about once every 2.5 years. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The westbound curb lane on Ellis Avenue will be closed between Downing and Minto Street. On Sargent Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will also be closed between Downing and Minto Street. And following the rush, the north and southbound curb lanes on Simcoe Street will be closed from Wellington to Notre Dame Avenue. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please send us a text. Here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.61 and the lowest price in the city is $1.49. The same found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Here's a look outside right now. It's 17 degrees, mainly cloudy skies, but the sun is peeking its way through in some parts. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Degrees to kick off your Monday morning. We are still well above seasonal. 9 would be a normal low temperature. East-southeast winds are light, just 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 78%. Now, you will notice a few extra clouds out there this morning, and perhaps later today we can hope for a bit of precipitation. We're needing it. Right now, it seems to be rolling through the southwestern part of the province, but into the afternoon we might see just some brief passing showers here in the southeast as well. You can see how clear it is in areas to the north of us. Well, it's also quite hot in areas to the north of us. Churchill headed to a high of 19 degrees today. Other than that, we're talking high 20s and even low 30s. In fact, we do still have the extreme heat warnings in place throughout much of northern Manitoba. They've all been lifted across southern Manitoba, but we're also not expecting to deal with the kind of temperatures that northern Manitoba will endure throughout the day. You can see from the low 30s up north to the high 20s or even some low 20s, and that possibility of precipitation, which we're all in need of. I mean, we could all use a little bit of rain. It's just a slim chance, so I don't want to get anybody's hopes up too much, but the possibility is there that we see a bit of brief passing precipitation. 26 degrees, so it is still going to be an above seasonal day. 22 would be a normal daytime high here throughout southern Manitoba. Most of us in those low to mid 20s, or further east where it's going to be a little bit sunnier, then you can expect those temperatures to be up into the high 20s for much of northwestern Ontario. Now, we do have the possibility of some scattered precipitation off and on both today and tomorrow, but maybe a better chance later this week. With that passing precipitation then comes a slight cool down with those temperatures until the weekend. Perfectly timed out. We've got the sunshine coming back and those temperatures on the rise all over again.
Thank you, Terry. We've been talking about sea paws throughout the morning and about some of the amazing things we could do outside, but it's also about really appreciating nature and our bodies of water. Good morning.
Good morning. A lot of people don't know that it's Ocean Week, but also Manitoba has an ocean. Claire Woodbury joins us now to tell us all about some of the advocacy that they're doing and share some pretty cool tidbits of information as well.
Yeah. That's right. So we actually did some polling in 2024, and
about 80% of people in Manitoba that we surveyed were either unsure or said no when they were asked, do we have an ocean coast? So we are actually a coastal province where we have the Arctic Ocean up in Hudson Bay, and it's a really amazing ecosystem. We've got the famous polar bears, and we have beluga whales. Have you ever seen a beluga whale before?
I wish.
They're amazing. So beluga whales are really incredible. We actually have a whale skull here, a jawbone rather. Now this is not a beluga whale, it's a false killer whale, but it's very closely related. You can see very sharp teeth. And actually this part here, we can see it's kind of hollow. Inside, actually I can put it up to your ear if you like. Sure. Can you hear the
Can confirm, hollow. And you might actually be able to hear that in the microphone as well.
So this is how a beluga whale actually can, how they can hear each other with their echolocation. So the echolocation travels through the water, hits their jawbone, goes up the jaw into their inner ear, because they don't have any ears outside their head, that's all inside. And they make noises out of the top of their head. They have this big bulbous thing called a melon, and it moves around and it moves the sound. So they can actually communicate over really far distances through these kind of chirps and whistles and squeaks and things like that. That's why belugas are called the canaries of the ocean. And that's why they're also very sensitive to ocean noise, because if there's noise getting in the way of when they're trying to talk to each other, it can be a little bit tough. But we're wanting to support these beluga whales, so we're exploring the idea of a national marine conservation area in Western Hudson Bay. We support the idea to have a feasibility study to explore this. So this is kind of like a national park for the ocean, you know, a place where belugas could live and swim and talk to each other, and then we'd still allow tourism there. People could go and check them out like they already do in Churchill, and yeah.
And well, now you know you have to invite me, because I told you I haven't seen them yet, and I'm super interested.
Yeah, everybody should go if you can.
Awesome. We're with CPAWS throughout the morning.
Thank you, Ainsley. For all those who play team sports, check out this contest. We're giving away 25 $100 Chicken Chef gift cards with draws every week from May 25th to July 17th. Tell us your most memorable, fun team moment. Attach a picture, and you will be entered into the draw. Crystal shared this photo of Orange Crush, her goddaughter's first time playing Timbits soccer. They cheered for other teams after a 1-0 win, and to enter the contest, please head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer and your picture. Good luck.
Your Manitoba sports team moment brought to you by Chicken Chef, where memories are made.
This is the ultimate treasure hunt. Divers in Nova Scotia have taken their passion for underwater exploring and transformed it into a mission to collect as much garbage as possible. As CTV's Paul Hollingsworth explains, they're helping restore natural habitats along the way.
See around that rock right there? That's where the car is.
Lyndon Morrison and Sean McMullen spend most of their free time underwater in the ocean, lakes and rivers. It all began a few years back when McMullen was looking for old bottles.
Then I started seeing all the trash when I was diving, and so I started taking everything with me, and that kind of turned me into an environmentalist.
Morrison and McMullen met each other several years ago at a Nova Scotia beach and quickly discovered a shared passion. Following every dive, they share videos of their findings on social media.
I feel a sense of accomplishment every time I come out and load up the truck, sort it, and put stuff where it belongs.
They always come ashore with a treasure trove of garbage: tires, shoes, laptop computers, cans, and old-style stubby beer bottles. This Mountain Dew bottle is a throwback to the 1980s.
That bottle is at least 40 years old for sure.
Sean and Lyndon both say every time they go into the water, it's fun, it's environmental, and an opportunity to leave their province cleaner and better than the way they found it.
We're on a mission to clean it up
and raise awareness about pollution. They want people to know locations like this may look scenic, but are also heavily polluted.
There's a trash problem in this province.
These two divers are trying to fix it and collect as much trash as possible, one dive at a time. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Lakeside, Nova Scotia.
For you celebrating a milestone today, happy 30th anniversary, Cheryl, with love from your husband, Wayne. Happy birthday, James. Love, Allison. Happy 7th birthday, Maddox. Love from Daddy, Kukum, Opa, Auntie Cadence, and your little brother, Makeo. And a happy 14th birthday to Danny from family and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
All right, 26 degrees is where we're headed today. So that'll still put us above seasonal. Last year, or pardon me, 22 degrees normal for this time of year. Last year, 33.4. Notice the records, though. The hot record and the cold record, 100 years apart, 1988 to 1888. 34 degrees was that record. We're nowhere near those temperatures. I know last week we dealt with the temperatures in those mid-30s that would have put us close to those numbers. But today, even though it's going to be above seasonal, it's not the extremes of last week. But that being said, northern Manitoba is still very much under heat warnings. Here in the south, or in Winnipeg more specifically, it's 17 degrees. East-southeast winds, 10 clicks, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 78%. Sun is shining over me. It's feeling a little bit muggy out here. I feel like it's still going to be a warm day, but not the intense heat, perhaps, that we had throughout last week and took us into the weekend. But then there's northern Manitoba, who very much is still right there in those low 30s all across northern Manitoba with abundant sunshine. Here in the south, we'll see a few more clouds, the possibility of some showers. We've been watching on the satellite image the precipitation moving through southwestern Manitoba. And then later on this afternoon, we have the possibility, it's just a chance, but that we see some of those showers passing through here in the southeast as well.
Tobacco use remains a significant but preventable cause of disease and premature death in Canada. Sunday was World No Tobacco Day, an annual event raising awareness on the dangers of using tobacco and encouraging people to butt out. And the Canadian Cancer Society says quitting smoking has a big impact on mental health. Joining us now is Lillian Demjensik from the Canadian Cancer Society. Good morning, Lillian.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Now, Lillian, Health Canada says around 46,000 Canadians die from tobacco use each year. Is that number decreasing fast enough, or is it an improvement?
There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Absolutely. It's still one of the most, it is one of the most preventable leading causes of death in Canada, as you mentioned. And so, yes, it's a concerning number for sure.
And I mean, we know tobacco is highly addictive, so it's not an easy habit to break. So tell us about some of the research you've done on quitting smoking and how it ties into mental wellness.
Well, there has been a systemic review that's cited frequently of 26 studies where it's been shown that quitting smoking has a benefit in improving depression, anxiety, stress, and of course, just improving the quality of life overall. Most people who quit will report that they have a much more sense of positive self-esteem and mood. So it's beneficial mentally and physically, and that's something we wanted to bring forward. Most people who come to us through Smokers Helpline at the Canadian Cancer Society, what they're looking for is the benefit of physical health, which they will receive. It's one of the best things you can do for your body, but they don't know so much about the benefits mentally, and it has been shown to be helpful for both mental and physical well-being. And we encourage Canadians those 3.6 million Canadians who smoke, to consider taking that first step and making some changes.
There are strong pushes to build a tobacco-free generation for younger Canadians. What's it going to take to do that?
Oh, there's a lot of work to be done for that, but there are strides being made. We're working towards limiting those flavors so that it's not as appealing to youth, and raising the age of purchase to 21 to help with that. There's all kinds of measures. I'm sure that will be implemented over time because it is quite a concern. 27% of youth in grade 12 do report that they are vaping. And so with new measures and progress like those that I described, we should be seeing some positive changes with that vaping number.
And a lot of people might not understand that the dangers of cigarettes and then the dangers of vaping are very much real. Even though they have a flavor to them, it is still a dangerous thing to do. Tell us about the effects to the lungs with vaping.
Vaping is not without harm. It's not harmless. It is different from smoking commercial tobacco, but there are additional chemicals, flavorings, chemicals that may or may not be of safe to use for humans. So it is very concerning, and it definitely impacts lung health. And the best thing you can do for your lungs is to not smoke or vape.
We're almost out of time already. If someone's watching right now, they're a smoker, they're a vapor, and they want to quit, what's your message for them?
Well, we've been campaigning and partnering with Nicorette to promote quitting, taking that first step. Quitting is hard, but there are supports out there like Smokers Helpline that can help. And we encourage you to reach out. Go to our website, smokershelpline.ca. We'd be happy to help support you with any questions or concerns you have. And one thing I did want to add is June 1st. It's exactly 6 months from our New Year's of 2020. So think about the changes you'd like to make. Take care. We'll be there to help.
Okay, well, thank you, Lillian, for your help today.
Take care.
Hello there, Matt Scooby in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. We go to the Diamond for this one. Phillies taking on the Dodgers. Man on. Brody Baez in the first when he smacks one deep to center. But check out Justin Crawford makes a leaping catch and face plants into the wall in the process. The son of former All-Star Carl Crawford showing off the defensive skills and earning your must-see moment from Sunday. And today on TSN, we've got a full day of round 4 coverage from Roland Garros, including number 4, Felix Auger-Aliassime taking on Alejandro Tabilo. It all starts bright and early at 5 a.m. Eastern on TSN 5 and 1. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Monday, June the 1st. Today, recession debate. New GDP numbers fuel a political clash as economists weigh in on the slowdown. Plus, Ebola breakthrough. 5 people recover from a rare Ebola strain as efforts to stop the outbreak continue. And tremendous feat, how one Canadian planted more than 47,000 trees in just 24 hours. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Monday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now it's June 1st, which means kids only have 1 more month of school. Wow. I know, it's so crazy. But a lot of kids rely on the school food programs that are available either for breakfast or for lunch. And when school's out, it means they don't have access to that food. So Harvest Manitoba is doing what it can to ensure that kids get what they need after the summer or when summer vacation arrives. Also at 8:45, we're going to get an update on Katie St. Germain. She has a brand new EP and a big album launch party tonight. So we're going to find out more about that. But the weather is glorious. I'm loving the sun.
I am loving these temperatures because it's still warm and above seasonal. I do enjoy warm and above seasonal temperatures. But last week, it was one of those things that was like, careful what you wish for. And I didn't want to complain because I waited so long for the hot weather. But then it came and I was like, this is too much. Although I feel like a lot of us felt that way. 17 degrees is now where we're sitting here on a Monday morning, so still above seasonal because 9 would be a normal low. East-southeast winds are 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 78%. We've got a few extra clouds this morning, and we are desperately needing some precipitation after those hot, dry temperatures that we've experienced for a stretch of days now. And it looks like finally southwestern Manitoba is seeing some of that precipitation. And even here in Winnipeg, we have the possibility, it is just a slim chance, but it's a chance nonetheless, nonetheless of getting some of that precipitation later on today. Through central and northern Manitoba, far less likely. You've got plenty of sunshine, clear conditions, and plenty of heat too. In fact, central northern Manitoba areas still under those extreme heat warnings. You're expecting to be up into the low 30s once again with plenty of sunshine throughout the day. We have that chance of precipitation today, and even better chance tomorrow. There you can see tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening here in the southeast of that precipitation rolling through. Once that passes through, we can expect temperatures to settle down just another few degrees, so a little bit cooler through the latter part of the week. But then for the weekend, the sunshine is back and that heat is coming along with it. And this cute little cactus was made by Cadence. I love your art here, and thanks for sharing it with us. We'd love to see more of what you're working on, so send your art to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and when you do, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
With the CUSMA review deadline now just a month away, Canada's former ambassador to the U.S. says she doesn't think the trade deal will be scrapped.
I hope I'm not wrong. You can never say anything for certain in this particular context, but my money's on that agreement staying, maybe being modified, but staying in place.
Kirsten Hillman also served as Canada's lead negotiator in trade talks with the U.S. She told CTV's Question Period the July 1st deadline is not a make or break date, and U.S. officials have made it clear they want to change certain parts of the deal. Hillman adds Canada may learn more details about what changes the U.S. wants over the next month. The deadline to renew or review CUSMA is on July the 1st. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominique LeBlanc will head to Washington for talks this week. Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre is calling for an emergency debate on the economy.
This is people's lives. Behind these statistics are empty stomachs, empty fridges, and empty bank accounts.
GDP data released by StatsCan shows the economy shrank for 2 quarters in a row. That meets the technical definition of a recession. In a letter to the Prime Minister, Poilievre says this is a full-blown liberal recession. However, some economists are pumping the brakes on the recession talk.
Economists tend to be very careful around using the word recession. The truth is that the economy is not in good shape. Through most of 2025, we struggled up and down.
The Office of the Finance Minister responded to Pierre Poilievre in a statement, calling his letter political theater. The head of the WHO calls 5 people who recovered from Ebola a sign of hope.
Your courage gives hope. And you're a living story that this outbreak can be stopped.
5 former patients were given certificates confirming they have recovered from a rare strain of the virus. 4 of the recovered patients are nurses. The WHO has opened a treatment facility in Democratic Republic of Congo. There are 282 confirmed Ebola cases in the country, along with more than 1,000 suspected cases. A Canadian man is a world record-holding tree planter.
My goal is to help raise funds to plant around 25 million in the next few years, but not plant them on my own. So I have a team and I work with an organization now to plant those trees.
Antoine Moses has planted about 2 million trees in his career, mostly in North America. Last month, he went to Kenya to plant mangroves. And with the support of locals, he planted an incredible 47,460 trees in just 24 hours. That's an average of 32 a minute, and it was good for his second record. He also holds one for planting 23,060 trees in 24 hours in Alberta 5 years ago. Good for him. Here's a look at what's happening now along the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are moving well. The canopy is beautiful this morning. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, please text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's been spending some time outside enjoying the great outdoors, and summer's almost here. It'll be a great time to hit the trails and explore Manitoba. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, it's the best day to be out in nature. We're going to be blessed all summer long. Carly Gray's joining us now from CPAWS. And if you're curious when you're out in nature about the bark or, perhaps some of the wildlife, we've got some answers for you. So good morning, Carly. What are the benefits of this?
Good morning. Yeah, the benefits of noticing and taking care of local species comes first with, knowing what they are. When you go for a walk and you look around and you see that there's more than one type of tree, it enhances your cognitive function as well as it enhances your relationship with local nature. So you're more likely to want to take care of it and more likely to want to protect it.
And you guys are inviting people, myself included, to really exercise these muscles. So we've got a little bit of a game and exercise here.
Yes, I have a bit of a quiz for you. So this summer we are featuring workshops that are going for a bird walk, for bird identification. We have tree identification, and we have how to forage for mushrooms. So we are looking at different species here. So let's see if you can guess what they are.
I'm going to preface by saying bird people can be intense. I love ya, but you don't be mad at me, okay? I'm not as technical as you. I think it looks like some sort of raven.
Close. This bird has red wings and it's black. It's called a red-winged blackbird.
Sounds like how Kenny names his cats. Black cat, orange cat. Okay, this is a mushroom, I'm thinking?
It is a mushroom. This is a morel mushroom. They're super delicious and awesome.
Well, that was my follow-up. Can you eat them? A monarch here.
Yes. Do you know the plant it's on?
I did. A purple one.
You got it. One of their favorites. This is a meadow blazing star. You can learn more about it at our How to Plant a Prairie Garden workshop.
And then you're asking me about this tree or this bark?
Yes.
I don't have an answer. I'm sorry. Incomplete.
It's okay. It's birch. One of the papery bark on the birch is a good identifier. And how about this, sweetie?
Oh, I don't know that one. Too bad. We're out of time. Sorry. Knives up. I'm sorry. For the people watching who went, come on.
Yeah, you need to spend more time outside. So it's good that you're there, Ainsley. Well, it's a sight that's surprising many. Plenty of tickets are still available for FIFA World Cup matches in Toronto and Vancouver, with the games less than 2 weeks away. CTV's Kamil Karamelli on why Canadians say they're holding off on attending and the challenges businesses face in trying to reel them in.
It's been a lifelong goal for Joshua Cateau to watch a FIFA World Cup match in his own backyard. But those dreams dashed with one look at the ticket prices.
I feel like it really pushes the game out of reach for a lot of people who want to be there and want to show up. And it's really disheartening.
Lots of tickets for World Cup matches in both Canadian host cities up for grabs less than 2 weeks out. Canada's first match in Toronto not going for anything cheaper than $3,000, but other games ranging from $600 to just over $1,000, and that's just part of the overall cost.
Hotels are very expensive in Vancouver and Toronto. Airline flights are very expensive right now.
But it's not just the matches that aren't selling out. Vancouver's official viewing party showing large clusters of seats still available to its fan festival. Officials, though, not sweating it.
As people are starting to make and lock in their summer plans, we have quite a bit of confidence that people will secure their seats.
The cheaper option, coming here to bars and restaurants broadcasting the games, but getting official FIFA branding at your establishment, not as easy as it sounds.
You don't want to be necessarily using FIFA's big IP assets. Nothing that sort of suggests or even comes close to suggesting that this is an official venue.
The City of Toronto's guidelines say businesses can't use words like FIFA, World Cup, or show the trophy to reel in customers, with the city able to issue fines or even late charges, unless they've partnered with FIFA's official sponsors like this Toronto bar.
We have brand partners that are directly associated with FIFA and the World Cup, and obviously it's through them and the tools that they provide that we're kind of bringing the whole space together.
Those spaces, likely where these fans will end up.
It's really upsetting to see ticket prices where they are,
with prices still a bit over the top. Kamil Karamelli, CTV News, Toronto.
All right, you can head outside. It's probably warmer than our studio. 19 degrees right now with east winds 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 74%. And we're looking through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Yeah, we have been a little bit chilly in our studio this morning, but to know that it's the same temperature outside, we can step outside, warm up. We just need a few minutes before we can get out there. 19 degrees at the moment here in Winnipeg and in Gimli. 17 in the Morden Winkler area and over in Brandon right now. You're going to notice, though, these temperatures warming as we push further up into the north. So Fisher Branch and the Pas already at 21 degrees, and right up into Lynn Lake, 21 is where you're sitting right now. Heat warnings remaining in place through much of central, northern Manitoba, especially on the western side of the province, although even in Churchill, for example, 19 degrees is where you're headed. That puts you well above seasonal. The precipitation, though, will be contained here through southern Manitoba, the southwest seeing it now, and we have the possibility to be seeing some of that precipitation later on today into the afternoon. 20 degrees as kids get into the classroom, 24 through the lunch hour, 26 today. That's our expected high. Now, that is above seasonal, but not the extremes. A little more pleasant today, and then that possibility of precipitation, which we're desperately needing. We have a chance to see it again tomorrow night. That'll take us into Wednesday with some slightly cooler temperatures. Latter part of the week, things settle closer to seasonal. And then for the weekend, we got that heat spike again with the sunshine back and the temperatures on the rise. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with your Morning Winnipeg.
Tesla could be reaping the benefits of the China-Canada EV agreement that will allow 49,000 Chinese-made EVs a year into the country. In the first month of the deal, 10% of the nearly 3,000 imported vehicles were Chinese-made Teslas. The EV giant's sales recently recorded an uptick, with investor Ross Gerber of Gerber Kawasaki saying that the Iran war could have prompted customers to shift to EVs amid soaring gas prices. NVIDIA is entering the PC market with a new chip aimed at loosening the stranglehold of Intel in that arena and modernizing the machines for the AI era. Starting this fall, NVIDIA's new RTX Spark Superchip, a combination of microprocessor and graphics chip, will debut in laptop and desktop computers from leading PC brands, including Dell and Lenovo. Meanwhile, The Big Short's Michael Burry says NVIDIA's AI spending is fugazi, slang for messed up. Burry's criticism centers on the idea that AI infrastructure growth may rely more heavily on structured finance, leverage, and off-balance sheet arrangements than investors realize. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
More families than ever rely on Harvest Manitoba each month to get by. The organization works with over 400 food banks and community partners to ensure no Manitoban goes hungry. And joining us now from Harvest Manitoba are Mika Peterson and Jen Gare. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, really, it seems that your numbers keep increasing. More and more Manitobans need support. What are we looking at when it comes to the many mouths that you feed around this province?
Absolutely. We are seeing record need right now for food banks and just folks experiencing food insecurity in our province right now. The need is continuing to grow, and we see that not just through our regular food banking programs, but through our student nutrition programs and just across the board at Harvest Manitoba.
And it's a lot of people who have jobs that are in need because inflation is up, the cost of gas is up, everything seems to be affecting their bottom line.
Absolutely. Families are really struggling right now. It's really expensive for everything in general, and food shouldn't be that variable budget within a family's monthly income, right? So we want to make sure that all of our needs are met, and food is one of those.
Okay, and one of the great ways that you get food to kids is an in-school program. Tell us a little bit about how that program works and how long it's been around.
Absolutely. So Meals to Go is our student nutrition program. So typically how it works is we pack kits throughout the week. We send it home on Friday afternoons for kids during the school year, and they enjoy it on Saturday, Sunday. The aim of the program is to fill those gaps. However, we noticed that there was one big gap that needed to be addressed, and that was summer. So how we do that is we make pre-packed breakfast kits, kind of like this one here, and then we pop up at 8 different school locations throughout the week during the summer. Families are welcome to just come up, grab a bag, and take it home until the next week.
Let's look at this because there's yogurt.
Yes.
There's like some made good bars, which are really high. There's protein in there.
You bet.
The cheese, of course, the milk, really great things that kids need. And there's also eggs. So these are really nutritious meals.
Yes, we definitely try to put a focus on things that kids will enjoy, things that they can make on their own, as well as that nutritional aspect as well. So this isn't even everything. There's more and different rotating items to make sure that kids enjoy it and really make use of the program.
Okay, so before this was brought into the summer months, kids were left with nothing during the summer, right?
Typically, yeah, families have got to find a way to find that food, or they're accessing different programs in different neighborhoods and throughout the city. We wanted to make sure that it was just really accessible, that kids could go to a school, a site that they know, they trust, they can go on their own if they need to, and they can pick this up no problem.
Okay, so we know this program is great. You got to keep it going. What are some of the other programs that are happening this summer that people can support?
Well, actually, there is a gardening program that we run called Grow a Row.
Okay.
It's something that community members are welcome to sign up on our website for. And essentially, it just means if you have a garden at home, at work, a community garden, maybe with another organization, it's essentially signing up to donate a portion of that harvest to us.
Okay.
So this is a great way to get all of our clients and community members really like nutritious food. We have lots of non-perishables that come in, which we love because of the shelf life.
Yeah.
But it's really important, we find, to get like fresh produce, things that everybody would want. It just makes that more accessible to our community. So people who want to donate a portion of their garden, then it's just sharing that fresh grown produce with people who need it.
And that goes a long way to filling bellies as well. And Manitobans have responded to this.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen like a lot of growth in the past year. I mean, a couple of things that we definitely want and have seen a lot of are like root vegetables, just because they have a longer shelf life. We've also just opened it up to kind of anything, any kind of produce that people want to donate. Okay. Even crab apples we're happy to see. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so is there something on your wish list that you want more of?
Probably, again, those like tubers, like radishes, beets, potatoes, yeah, but anything really, like lettuce, tomatoes, everything that people have in their gardens. We are thrilled to see. It always tastes better when it's straight from the ground.
Okay, well, we have a link on our website if you want more information. Thanks, you two.
Thank you so much.
And I've spoken to so many people who have been itching to get their gardens growing. I mean, it was one thing just to get it planted. I feel like most people have done that now, right ahead of that blast of heat. But now we want things to grow, and they're going to need some water in order to do that. And that might be on you, because it doesn't look like Mother Nature is really coming through for us, through much of the province anyway. 19 degrees is where we're sitting out here. It's a pleasant, beautiful start to your morning, above seasonal as well, although southern Manitoba is no longer under any heat warnings. The wind out of the east is just 15 kilometers per hour. That might continue to increase throughout the day, though. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 74%. There's still plenty of sunshine out here this morning. I'm feeling the warmth of it all, but we're going to see a few more clouds building up throughout the day today, and currently southwestern Manitoba is waking up to a little bit of precipitation, and we can keep our fingers crossed. Looks like there's the possibility that we'll have some of that precipitation rolling over southeastern Manitoba later today. Now, I mentioned the heat warnings have all lifted. That's the case, that's the truth for southern Manitoba, but they still are very much in place through west central Manitoba, up into northwestern Manitoba, even pushing into parts of eastern Manitoba with, say, for example, Thompson expecting 30 degrees today. So it is going to be a scorcher right up into the north with plenty of sunshine through northern Manitoba as well. Okay, I got this wrong. I don't know my left and right. That's now been learned by everyone. There's a big owl and there's a little owl, and I'm sure you can tell the difference. They're gorgeous, they're cute, and they were spotted by Katie. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
A grieving Canadian father is sharing his son's sacrifice on the front lines of Ukraine, desperate to bring his body home and help others facing the same tragic reality. Loved ones' remains yet to be recovered. CTV's Adrian Gabriel on a family's quest and what other foreign fighters are sharing about his actions on the battlefield.
That sucks. That sucks. That sucks.
This is one of the last known videos of 24-year-old Canadian Patrick Mazurol near the front lines fighting in Ukraine.
We've got Star here. Star. It's his 90 day. Today's 91 days on rotation.
On day 94 of his rotation on the front, the native of Inkerman, New Brunswick, was killed in action.
It's not getting easier with time.
In February 2025, Patrick told his parents he was going to the UK for a 2-week vacation. He missed his first flight there due to a snowstorm.
So I paid his ticket.
Tracking his phone overseas, Patrick's father, Mark Mazurol, quickly realized his son was heading towards Ukraine.
There was no way of changing his mind. He was there in his mind for the right reason. Those people needed help.
The loss of his son weighs heavy on a father.
Yeah, especially your only one.
Since his death, Mazerol has been trying to locate his son's body and bring it home. Soldiers have told him that Patrick's remains are still on the battlefield near the eastern Ukrainian city of Lubansk.
That red point, that's where my son's at. This is the last soldier. He showed me the exact location within 20 meters where the incident happened.
Mazerol has now started his own organization, the International League of Prisoners of War and Missing in Action for the families of the war in Ukraine. Families in Canada and around the world have started to reach out to him, asking for help.
Bring peace to the families, at least.
He recently traveled into Ukraine in search of answers and to get his organization off the ground. It's there that he found his son's photo among the thousands of others killed or missing in Kyiv's Maidan Square.
I wasn't ready to face my kid. Picture there.
There is a drone overhead.
Pat and I are under this tree that's like falling over.
CTV News spoke with two foreign fighters who were with Patrick on the day he was killed. They asked we only use their call signs, not their full names.
Tell them.
Odin is from Florida. Tarzan is from South Africa.
It was heavy shell. Yeah, Pat didn't respond. He said something to Pat. And then I was against Pat. Like we were against the ground, like tucked into each other.
A piece of shrapnel had hit Patrick in the head, killing him instantly. Prior to his death, his fellow soldiers say they witnessed him save multiple lives.
He ran into an open field and he just sprints out there and grabs him, like with no overhead, no cover, nothing. Like he was just there to basically save his buddy. So that's the type of person he was. He always put others first.
Did he make you proud?
I'll never be able to walk with my head down.
What would it mean to bring Patrick home?
The world. Yeah.
It's been 9 months since Patrick Mazerol was killed. The area where his body is believed to be located remains too dangerous for soldiers to travel back into. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
There's a look outside. It's 19 degrees, just a slight breeze out of the east, 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 74%. That's not the best camera view. It doesn't quite look as gray out there, I suppose, as what we were just seeing through that view. A brighter, bluer sky, at least in places. There are some clouds, but it's not looking as gloomy as that particular image appeared. Now, here through the southwestern part of the province, perhaps it is looking a little bit gloomier. You've been dealing with some heavier clouds and even some rain, much needed, but rain nonetheless. So it's not going to be a bright and sunny day, which is the case throughout northern Manitoba. In fact, not only is it bright and sunny, it's incredibly hot, with heat warnings still in place through much of central and northern Manitoba. Low 30s on tap today. We're not going to be as hot today. We were not going to be quite as sunny. There will be some sunshine. I've been saying out there, some sunshine, but a few more clouds that'll build up through the day, and even the possibility of some showers, which we will welcome. We need the rain. We haven't seen much of it for several days now. 26 degrees is where we're headed. That is still above seasonal. It's not the scorching heat of last week, and as a result, all of the heat warnings throughout southern Manitoba have lifted, even though they are still in place up north. But 26 degrees still puts us above the seasonal 22. Now, a normal low temperature, that would be about 9, will fall to about 16 degrees. Still that chance of showers in place overnight, and still for tomorrow, although tomorrow's are more likely to come into the evening time, it will be another warm day, 28 degrees. And from there, with those showers, with thunderstorms into the evening and overnight, the temperatures will cool, settling slightly closer to more seasonal values until the weekend rolls around and the sunshine comes back and it brings all that heat with it.
From Winnipeg to nationwide, the city added a sign on a stretch of Pennant Road to honor Princess Otto's contribution to Winnipeg. Mayor Scott Gillingham announced an honorary street name of Princess Otto Way on Saturday for Pennant Road between Nairn Avenue and Mission Street. This comes ahead of the company's new flagship store opening tomorrow. Gillingham said the Tallman family, operators of the company, have been contributing to the city by creating jobs, establishing scholarships, and sponsoring major events.
And so the impact of the Tallman family it goes deep and is long-lasting in our community. And by naming this street Princess Auto Way, it's just a small way to acknowledge their great contribution.
CEO of Princess Auto, Ken Larson, said it is an honor and a truly humbling moment in a media release. The city's honorary street name doesn't replace the official street name, but is an addition. Gillingham said this was his idea. Doctors in the UK are praising the trial results of a cancer treatment that's managed to eliminate entire tumors in some patients. Researchers at London's Institute of Cancer say the amivantamab injection was offered to patients whose cancer had spread, come back, or failed to respond to standard treatments. The drug targets cancer cells and blocks multiple signals that helps those cells grow and spread. Results from the clinical trial showed the injection reduced tumor sizes in 43 of the 102 patients treated. In 15 of those cases, the tumors disappeared completely. Experts say the findings are highly encouraging.
New EGFR drugs like amivantamab are showing strong promise in HPV-negative head and neck cancers, and this will hopefully improve response and durability and hopefully improve survival and outcomes so that, many years are possible even when recurrent metastatic disease occurs.
Head and neck cancer is the 6th most common cancer worldwide and affects thousands of Canadians each year. As more Canadians turn to fertility treatments, they're finding a patchwork of support depending on where they live. Most provinces offer some financial help, but access and coverage varies. One Saskatchewan couple says they're being left out. CTV's Alison Bamford explains why.
Marley Kotlack and Britt Sipola are counting down the days until their wedding and researching the next steps for their future.
It just seems like the natural next step to start planning a family.
An expensive endeavor for the same-sex couple considering intrauterine insemination, or IUI. Sperm donation alone would cost them $16,000.
I can think of like 3 different repairs that our house needs that we have to defer.
Saskatchewan's fertility treatment tax credit announced last year refunds 50% of eligible treatment expenses up to $10,000, but excludes travel costs and the purchase of sperm or eggs outside of the province.
It really feels like straight couples are being supported with this initiative and queer couples are being left out.
There's only one sperm bank in all of Canada. Most donor sperm is imported from the United States, which one lawyer says highlights a greater accessibility issue.
What I often say to my clients is this is probably going to be the most expensive thing you ever do, other than buying a house.
Saskatchewan's finance ministry acknowledged the broad range of fertility cases and said the tax credit is applied consistently, regardless of marital status, gender, or sexual orientation. But one advocacy group says that doesn't mean it's equitable.
So it certainly helps some. The challenge still remains an upfront out-of-pocket cost.
The province says it will review the program once tax data is available to determine if changes are needed. For now, Kotlack and Sipola will continue putting away money and positivity.
Really trying to keep a clear head about it and just go in with good hopes and expectations.
For a dream they hope can become reality. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Here's a look at what's happening now at Main and Broadway. Things appear to be moving quite well in this part of the city. If you see any problems out there, please send us a text. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.61, and the lowest price in the city is $1.49. The same found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for a question of the day. We wanted to know, have you ever been dared to do something? And if so, what did you do? Susan shared, I got dared to wear the flying nun to work. I did it, won first place. Good for you, Susan. Marlene says, I used to play Truth or Dare, and I made my friend kiss my cousin when we were teens. And Tony texted, I was dared to put ketchup on my salad at work years ago. Now I do it most of the time. LOL adds a little tang to the taste. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
We've been talking about CPAWS this morning. Ainsley is back on the water this morning. It's a great place to explore all around Manitoba. Open water, it's great. Good morning.
Yeah, well, not on the water, by the water. I can't be trusted without losing a cell phone, which happened this morning. If you're an avid watcher of this program, you're very used to me with a microphone going, it's so cold, and just being uncomfortable. What a pleasant day. Chelsea is joining me, Pierre as well from the Paddling Association. This is what people can expect when they join CPAWS on the water.
Yeah, absolutely. We think it's important that in order to love nature and want to protect it, you have to get outside and experience it. And that's why we partner with Manitoba Paddling Association in the summer, starting June 17th on Wednesday nights. You can get out and try a kayak like this.
And you're very lucky you get to be on the water all the time, but you're going to show us some techniques. So Pierre, do I have a good start?
Okay, so we try to keep things nice and simple, especially for beginners. First things first, we want to grab the pedal just outside shoulder width. Keep a nice loose grip on there, absolutely. You want to lock in your legs. There's little knobs up front here. Lock in those legs to keep yourself locked into the boat, just like that, exactly. Nice tall posture. When you take a stroke, you want to go on the left side. Make sure you take one big stroke. The blade goes all the way in the water. When you go to the left, it's going to make the boat want to go to the right. When you take a stroke on the right, it's going to make you want to go to the right. Simple as that. Then we send you guys out. You have fun. You learn how to go.
All right, I whacked my heel and it really hurt. Like, how do you possibly mess this up? But I will say it's a lot easier when you're actually in the water. There's different options for families too. So it's not just something someone can enjoy solo, it's bringing people in Manitoba together.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a rate for children, adults, and families. So you can go, not necessarily in this boat, obviously Pierre could talk about that, but there's canoes available and all kinds of options to get out with the whole family.
Okay, Pierre, how do people stop? Say you're veering a little too far into the woods.
To stop, you simply stop paddling. You can hit the shoreline with these boats. These boats are practically indestructible. There's nothing wrong that's going to happen if you do, but if you're in the middle of the river, you just want to stop, you simply place the blade all the way in the water and get that baby to stop.
Okay, so to make me feel less guilty and to do a formal apology to Susan and Mark for losing the phone in the water, how many phones have you lost this year? I understand there was a record.
Well, last year when we bring in the dock at the end of the year, the shoreline's pretty low. We saw around 15 phones that we rescued from around a 10-foot area.
Oh no!
And that's just in front of us. So.
And 3 this weekend. 3 this weekend. So that's a lesson. You got to zip it up in your life jacket.
Oh yes, indeed. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Out on the rooftop now, the sun is shining.
It really is. It's shining bright. It's not scorching. Today is going to be a really pleasant day, but Ainsley talked about some of the activities this weekend. It's going to get hot all over again, but today very pleasant, even if it is going to be above seasonal. I think a lot of people like those slightly above seasonal temperatures, just not the extremes of what we dealt with last week. 19 degrees is where we're currently sitting with an east wind, 15 clicks. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 74%. So yes, sunshine, beautiful. Off to the east. Off to the west, I can see some heavier clouds, and we've been watching on the satellite image all morning long the precipitation, much needed, that's been rolling through southwestern Manitoba, knowing that the possibility is there, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that we too get just kind of grazed with a little bit of that precipitation later on today. We have a few chances off and on through the first half of this week of seeing some of that precipitation, and we will welcome every drop. Where is it hot? Still through central and northern Manitoba. Those heat warnings are still in place in areas to the north of us with plenty of sunshine, low 30 temperatures expected throughout pretty much all of northern Manitoba. So yes, it's still going to be pretty intense up north, but we've settled down here in the south until the weekend when those temperatures ramp up again. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. A groundbreaking gene therapy is now available for patients with hemophilia B. CTV's Pauline Chan spoke with the first person to receive the treatment in Canada.
Basil Abushawish was born with hemophilia B.
I have 17 of my family has had same thing, hemophilia.
And it was hard taking frequent injections and avoiding many normal activities.
You're trying to play, to enjoy with the kids, but you couldn't because you make like causing bleeding or injury.
Management of hemophilia B typically requires intravenous injections on a regular basis to help prevent bleeding. This new treatment will hopefully eliminate the need for those regular infusions and allow patients with hemophilia B to lead next to normal lives.
On May 13th, Abushawish became the first person in Canada to receive Hemgenix, a single infusion gene therapy.
Basically carries a functional copy of the effector 9 gene to liver cells, and it basically gives instructions to liver to start producing factor 9 from the liver.
That's the clotting factor missing in people with hemophilia B. Dr. Chai Pua calls Hemgenix groundbreaking.
It was such a powerful moment for everyone, and I think that to witness that possibility that this single infusion could meaningfully reduce the burden over many years was both humbling and inspiring for our team.
For Abushawish, it means the start of a new, healthier life.
When my doctor told me your body good to go, first thing I will go to play soccer.
Hemgenix is already used in several other countries. It's being funded in Ontario and BC for patients that meet established criteria. Other provinces are still working out funding. The Canadian Hemophilia Society says gene therapy is a long-anticipated development.
It is reassuring to see that work being done and that companies are looking to hopefully make that jump and make that same treatment available for patients with hemophilia A and hopefully other bleeding disorders as well.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Manitoba country music singer and songwriter Katie St. Germain has had a big year. She was selected as one of 8 finalists for SiriusXM's 8th annual Top of the Country competition, where her song Salt in the Wound is now streaming on all platforms. And now St. Germain is getting ready to release her brand new album 100 Proof. It's getting released right here in Winnipeg. And joining us now is singer-songwriter Katie St. Germain and Michael Odette, who is joining her this morning. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, Michael.
Hi.
Congratulations. What a year you've had.
Thank you. It's been amazing.
It has been. Talk about SiriusXM and what that experience was like and what happened. It was a competition, right?
Yes, it was a competition. So I was chosen to be top 8 semifinalists throughout Canada, and we got to go travel, bring my band out to Vancouver and record a brand new song, and we got to do a video for it all in the same day. It was like a whirlwind, but it was awesome. And then from there, people voted, and yeah, it was awesome.
And it's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, it's been great. I released the single not too long ago, and we're already surpassing 300,000 streams, which is my biggest release to date. So
that is super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about this new EP and what's going on there.
So it's a 5-song EP. I'm so excited, and I just want to celebrate putting out all these songs. I feel like it's taken me a little bit to find my sound, and I feel like I'm getting into the pocket. So I'm really excited for everyone to hear, the songs that are on it.
What was the process like for you to put it together?
It was amazing. I worked with Murray Pulver here in the city. He's an incredible producer. So just wrote with some friends, and we put it together. We recorded at No Fun Club, and it came together pretty fast, which was awesome.
And you're having a release party on June the 4th at the Park Theatre.
Yes.
Tell us about that party.
I am so excited. I'm gonna be just celebrating with everyone, friends and families. Tickets are $35 to come. My brother is flying in, and so he's gonna be opening for me. He's got a band called the Muddy River Band. So they're gonna be opening. We got Irvin Miller as well. If you have not seen him, you have to see him perform. He's incredible. And then we're gonna do our show.
And you're gonna actually perform for us here. You're gonna sing Burn That Bridge.
Yes.
Katie St. Germain, take it away.
Thank you. You're the kind of guy that could ruin my life. Now I thank my lucky stars every day. You're the kind of wrong that makes you my Mr. Right. Now I'm handing you my whole heart to break. Get
good to be the truth, but honey, I'll take the dare. We'll burn, burn, burn that bridge when we get there.
Love it. All right, it is 19 degrees. I'm loving this as well. The beautiful day we have ahead of us, not too hot, just kind of Goldilocks weather. It is going to be still above seasonal. East winds are 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 74%. Not the extremes that we dealt with last week, and instead some much needed precipitation showing up through parts of southern Manitoba, which we might see here in Winnipeg and parts of the southeast a little later on this afternoon. Now, it is still very hot throughout much of northern Manitoba. That's where the heat warnings are still in place. We could get back to that kind of heat, but for the next few days, or the week I should suppose, we're going to see things getting a little bit cooler. Still above seasonal for the next couple of days with the possibility of showers both today and again tomorrow, more so into the evening. That'll roll overnight and into Wednesday with some slightly cooler temperatures following that rain, but then the heat, it's back again, perfectly timed for the weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video, and it being Monday, so we'll start things off with a little motivation and to remember what the goat said. That's the quote from a literal goat, not from the greatest of all time, as many were expecting. Even if you didn't understand what he said, it's a great way to start the day. It's very important.
I love that.
No, some cats are aloof while others are born to perform.
Pudding, you gonna do some dancing for?
Oh, check out his moves. When Pudding heard his mom say dance, he immediately went on his hind legs and shimmied across the floor. A little tappity tap, knowing he's going to get some treats. He'll do it. And then finally, a daughter trying to help her mom declutter.
All those lanyards you have? Well, some of those are doggy. Crazy. Beanie Babies. Do we need all these Beanie Babies, though? You don't need to come with Beanie Babies.
Mai is trying to get her mom to get rid of her junk through the trend Swedish death cleaning. It may sound morbid, but it's the intentional process of organizing your home so your loved ones are not burdened with the task when you pass away. Unlike Marie Kondo's technique of keeping things that give you joy, this is about cleaning together before it's too late. Oh my God.
Beanie Babies. I bet you could still get something for them on eBay. Maybe not.
Maybe like a quarter.
I don't know. Oh.
Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.